Okay, Mike the Headless Chicken was a male Wyandotte chicken that lived for 18 months after his head had been cut off.
What?
After the loss of his head, Mike achieved national fame until his death in March 1947.
Get the Presidential Medal of Honor.
They couldn't hang it on anything.
Wait, he had a neck still. He just didn't have a head. So keep going. I am so interested to see how this guy survived. Like, what about food? How is he...
Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to Wiki University. I am your professor, Kyle Burseth, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only student here at WikiU, aside from yourselves, but the one and only in the classroom. He is the king of in-person learning. Give it up for Jheisson Nunez.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while since we recorded.
It has been a little bit of a while. I did what you guys are doing, and I was a remote learner because I had fallen to the COVID-19 plague.
The sequel for you.
Round 2, baby.
Oh, man. I haven't gotten it yet. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Wow, 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 wow.
Statistically, though, you probably will get it.
Probably.
But, so just fair warning, holler at your boy. I'll let you know.
You'll walk me through it?
I'll walk you through
You'll
it.
You'll come over and get it.
I'll grab it for a third time. Third time's the charm, I heard.
So the second time not as bad as the first?
Like, yeah, it was the opposite of The Godfather.
Okay. The opposite of The Godfather.
COVID the second time was The Godfather 3 of COVID.
It was more the Back to the Future 2 of COVID.
No.
Yeah, I know you like Back to the Future too.
Yeah.
I'm just trolling you, okay. But it's definitely not as good as the first.
Sure. It's not as good as the first. It is more fun.
Gonna disagree.
We'll have to disagree then.
Okay. Well, for those tuning in.
Yeah, enough of us. First off, thank you guys for joining us once again. Please remember to rate and review us on Spotify Podcast and or Apple Podcasts. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, and I hope you got your learning cap on.
Also, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a podcast that combines stupidity and learning. So if you're an idiot and you want to learn something, you came to the right place.
Yeah, we're stupidly educational here. Also,
it's summer session, so it's even less learning than normal.
If you haven't been able to tell by my pink Bahama Mama salmon-colored short sleeve button-up, it's summer session, baby.
That feels like something that a 65-year-old would say to his wife when he's trying to get laid. Oh, how's my little Bahama Mama doing?
Yeah, well, I got this from a dead 65-year-old at an estate sale.
65-year-old?
Yep.
Died at 65?
He went out early at retirement. He retired at the right time, I guess.
I was at an estate sale today, Jheisson.
You were? Did you get a Bahama shirt yourself?
I did not, but I was browsing through their books. I've never bought a book at an estate sale, but I do like to just get a peek into their life. And, you know, this estate sale was a mess. There was stuff everywhere, right? Crazy stuff.
Big place?
I think not a huge place.
Not a huge place.
Stuff was spilling into the yard. He had a garage, and I think he was some sort of scientist because he had like a lab set up in there.
Ooh.
All sorts of crazy stuff. But you know there was no way he was doing it at like the age of 90. So here's the thing. I'm going through the books. I see a book that says estate planning for everyone, and it has a bunch of old people on the cover. And I was like, this guy did not read this book.
Yeah.
Because it's chaos here.
Right. So were you interested in anything there? Did anything pique your eye?
You know what I'm into? And I think I've told you this.
Whoa. What are you into? Let me get ready. I might be into it too. So
let's just calm down a little bit there, Jheisson. I'm into rattan furniture. Rattan is in.
Rattan is in?
Rattan's in.
So you know all about rattan.
I don't know all about it, but I know a fair amount about it.
You know enough you see some rattan.
I'm like, that's underpriced. Let me have that. Yeah.
You're a fan of rattan.
Here's an example. I bought a rattan fainting sofa, it's called.
Define that?
A fainting sofa, it's kind of like a day bed, but then there's a back to it that kind of it's kind of like it's flowy.
So it's like it's for fainting.
You could lean back on it and be like, it's just too high.
So is that like kind of like not a lounge, like a mix of a lounge chair? I guess a lounge chair is like a modern twist on that, or is it more of like
it's more of what you picture when you picture a psychiatrist's like patient lying down.
That was my next question. Is it more of like a bench?
Yo, let's just go to the wiki
Leonardo
article.
DiCaprio paints, draws
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet.
Yes. Yeah,
Right?
I can't picture that scene, but if she was kind of... If she
that's
was...
the only that's the only scene I can picture.
That's the only thing you remember from
picture.
Titanic?
It's a picture itself.
Picture in picture.
Cameron
he did it.
He drew it. That was his drawing. Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's a fun movie fact right here.
No way. I think this is a fake movie fact right
It's
here.
a real fact. It's a stupid fact.
Anyway, I went to this estate sale. I bought, not the one today, I bought a fainting rattan sofa for $65.
Wow.
Sold it for $500.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Same day?
Do you know what I did
Post
to
it.
it? Nothing. Yeah, I just posted it.
That's great.
I should say White Bones posted it for me. But
Did it happen? This is like a weekend turnaround or a day?
no, we actually had it in the house for a little bit, and someone slept on it. White Bones' mom slept on it for a weekend because we...
So that's why you hiked up the price.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That increases the value.
Okay, if I find some rattan, and I'm gonna keep an eye out for rattan now.
Yeah.
I'll have
Keep it out.
I'll have to call White Bones' mom to
Call me up, and then we'll line
so
up.
she can sleep on it and then hike up the price.
Exactly.
I don't know what these guys are in for. $500 and you spent how much? 50?
65.
That's hell of an ROI, bro.
It's pretty good.
Hell of an ROI.
Pretty good for doing just going and picking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I had a similar thing with a shirt that I found. I think I told you about it briefly. It says off-white shirt.
This is Flipping University. Welcome back.
I'm not flipping though. I'm not flipping it, but I did find an off-white shirt. The
fashion brand.
The fashion brand off-white.
Or line, I guess. Or
I'm not too familiar. You know, R.I.P. Virgil. That's all I know. But anyways, it says very high-end designer brand.
Yep.
And it's a long sleeve black T-shirt, and it says I think just off-white in the front, and I think it's got a big X in the back, like in an odd shape, particular shape that a lot of his that his brand does. Anyways, $7. I look it up online on eBay. This is a $355 shirt.
Yeah, that's a nice pull.
That's a nice pull. Only drawback, not my size. It's okay.
It's eBay's size.
No, not even. It's my niece's size.
Okay,
So,
all right. So she's gonna be flossing.
She's gonna be flossing in some off-white for her new school year coming up.
Let's read a little bit about Off-White. I just pulled it up here while you were talking about it. Off-White is an Italian luxury fashion label founded by American designer Virgil Abloh.
Sound it out. Yeah. You got
The
it.
company was incorporated in Milan in 2012. That's interesting that it's an Italian luxury fashion label founded by an American. How's that work? I guess just because it was founded in Milan. That makes it Italian?
I believe so. I mean, I think, right? Isn't that the same thing with like champagne? It's champagne because it comes from Italy.
Champagne comes from France,
Okay,
idiot.
I'm sorry.
And a specific region of France. It has to be
that's
grown.
right.
The grapes have to be grown in a specific region.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
I was
grape
way off that.
specific.
That's grape
Yeah.
specific.
Similar to, I believe, a Bordeaux comes from the Bordeaux region.
What's a Bordeaux?
A Bordeaux is a red wine.
Okay.
But Bordeaux
A
is not
blush?
just the name of... blush sounds rosy,
Yeah.
but a Bordeaux is full-on red.
I'm not good with wines. I stick to the white wines.
Do you want me to go to Bordeaux on Wikipedia now?
Not just yet. I want to know a
Okay.
little bit more about Virgil.
So, well, Off-White has collaborated with brands and designers such as Nike, Levi, Rimowa, Jimmy Choo, IKEA. I mean, this is a man of the people and a man of the rich-ass people. This
Exactly.
He
Well-
really went. And not only that, A$AP Rocky,
ASAP?
A$AP? Is it A$AP
It's
or
ASAP,
A$AP?
not ASOP. That's actually another rapper, Aesop.
You say a sapo, I say a sapo.
Oh, stop. Oh, no.
I think he collabed with Kanye as well, right?
Yeah, I believe they kind of like were on the come up back in the day. This is like late 90s, early 2000s. I think they definitely
late 90s. Kanye wasn't doing anything in the late 90s, was he?
Yeah, of course. You think people
In
just
fashion?
You think people just pop off like that? No, in music and fashion. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
I
with
mean,
this guy.
Off-White was founded in 2012. I'm not.
Right.
You're saying they were friends.
That was founded in 2012. They've been friends for a while now.
Friends.
And I believe they kind of put, and I mean they, meaning Virgil and Kanye, I believe kind of put streetwear like on the map, like streetwear like as a designer type of thing, rather than, it was always, I feel like it was always, you got those designer high-end brands, and then you got just like athletic gear or just like that kind of streetwear. It wasn't really prominent in magazines and stuff like that. In mainstream media, it was always like associated with rap, pretty much.
Yeah, and they were the ones that were like, what if we made sweatpants super expensive?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Virgil,
Black man getting money, man. I respect it.
I didn't know this. He was a trained architect who also worked in Chicago street fashion. There you go, Jheisson.
That's where they. I'm sure that's where they met. Chicago.
Entered the world of international fame with an internship at Fendi in 2009. That's a pretty late internship for him because he was born in 1980. But I guess if he went to architecture school, then it's like, how do I make the transition to fashion? Anyway, he had an internship at Fendi in 2009 alongside American rapper Kanye West. So Kanye had an internship in 2009? This
I didn't know that.
Post-college dropout.
Look, I'm telling you, this is why, I mean, Kanye is so revered. Hate him as much as, a person may want, but the fool had skill.
Yeah. Still does have
skill.
Still does. Well, the two then began an artistic collaboration that would launch Virgil's career into founding Off-White. So I guess they met in 2009. But through an internship, which I will give you credit, Jheisson, would have indicated they were both younger than they were.
Yeah, that's true. Because I know like Kanye is like an artist, and I believe he went to college, at least before he dropped out, on scholarship for art.
Oh, I had no idea.
So I knew that, and obviously we all know that he was fashion forward for that time and for rap or hip hop, and I didn't think he was doing an internship that late.
You know what they always say there? They always say these young people that have parents that can support them can do internships, whereas people from poor families can't. And that's how Kanye was able to have an internship. He was he was getting money from his mom.
I think he was supporting himself at that point.
Oh, really? From his platinum records? Well, just
his mom was riding in the Miracle Whip at that point for sure.
Good pull there.
That's a song.
Yeah. All right, so just to put a pin in what you were saying before we get to our actual topic of the day, after graduating from high school, West received a scholarship to attend Chicago's American Academy of Art in 1997 and began taking painting classes. Shortly after, he transferred to Chicago State University to study English. He soon realized that his busy class schedule was detrimental to his music work, and at 20, he dropped out of college to pursue his musical dreams. This greatly displeased his mother, who later paid for his internship, who was also a professor at the university. She later commented, quote unquote,
so pissed.
"It was drummed into my head that college is the ticket to a good life. But some career goals don't require college. For Kanye to make an album called College Dropout was more about having the guts to embrace who you are rather than following the path society has carved out for you." She sounds like the original Gary Vee.
Yeah. That's what Gary Vee bought all of her videos.
Yeah.
Her plans, her $9.99 a month.
Kanye's mom's
Kanye,
drop out of college plan.
That'd be great.
Taught by a professor.
I hope she comes up with a posthumous book that's about dropping out of college.
Called Written from the Grave. Okay, so let's move on to our topic of the day. Like we said, this is summer session, so we'll be bouncing around left and right here. The topic that I am bringing, Jheisson, I was looking up weird summer traditions.
Okay, like the solstice, summer solstice.
The solstice is
I guess that's not a tradition. That's an Earth tradition. It's gonna happen no matter what.
That is the sun's tradition, I'll say.
The sun's tradition.
Yeah,
Very
and
true.
the Earth as one.
They work together.
And when you do Google Whoa, speaking of weird summer traditions, we're
getting attacked right now.
Recording 3 days before the 4th of July, and we are under siege here. Let's go to the Steven Seagal movie Under Siege. Should we?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Under Siege.
I believe that was his last, or is it Under Siege 2? I believe that was his last, where he was kind of like the star or the big, like that was like a solid movie.
I think
nothing B movie.
I think it might have been his best. I would say all of his movies were in a category of B movies, meaning he didn't get paid as much as like other top tier actors because he's not a top tier actor.
He got paid the most on that set for sure.
But he also sold that movie pretty well, I think. So Under Siege is a 1992 American action thriller film directed by Andrew Davis and written by J.F. Lawton. It stars Steven Seagal as a former Navy SEAL who must stop a group of mercenaries led by Tommy Lee Jones, who does play
a good villain.
Weird villain.
A weird villain, yes.
On the U.S. Navy battleship.
Weirder than Two-Face on Batman and Robin?
Oh, I think he was Two-Face before Two-Face. Okay. Yeah, it was probably about the same. Released on October 9th, 1992, Under Siege was both critically and commercially successful, receiving 2 Oscar nominations for sound production.
Okay, still for one for being a sequel, right? Because it's 2?
No, this is Under Siege, the original. There was an Under Siege 2, Dark Territory, which was less positively received. So what were we were looking, COVID the second time was more like Under Siege 2 for you.
Yeah, it was Under Siege 2. But see, it's weird because with COVID, the second part, I was able to, it was more enjoyable than the first time around. Really, is Under Siege 2 more enjoyable than Under Siege?
Well, it didn't hit as hard.
That's true.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at the box office, the budget was $35 million. You want to guess the box office pull quickly?
I'm going to say...
Quickly?
115.
Not bad. 156.6.
156. Okay.
Outperformed the Jheisson Nunez box office guess. All right, let's get to our topic of the day here.
Let's do it.
The topic of the day, I looked up these summer events. One I found that caught my attention was Mike the Headless Chicken.
They named the chicken. I wonder if what came first, the headless or the name?
It's Mike the Headless Chicken Day. I'm going to say the chicken did not have a name until it lost its head. Prior to that, it was just chicken. It was just dinner. It was gonna be dinner.
Wait, but when a chicken loses its head, it's usually on its way to dinner.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you the story.
I want to see what's so special about this chicken. Mike, was it?
Mike.
Okay,
yeah, sorry. Mike. They didn't really get too creative
no
with
last
the
name?
first name. Well,
Chicken?
Chicken is his last name, yeah. The Headless is his middle name. So he was born on April 20th. Oh, 420.
Hey, 420. Yeah, like Hitler.
1945. Hitler was still kicking at that point.
No, Hitler was born. That's his birthday.
That's Hitler's birthday.
Yeah.
And Hitler was still alive in 1945, I believe. April 20th, 1945, died March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 1947. Wow. Born on 420, died on St. Patrick's Day. The luck of the Irish, except he died on that day. Is it lucky if he got his head chopped off on St. Patrick's Day?
He got guillotined on that. I imagine the Braveheart scene at the very end.
Of this chicken's
life?
But
it's the chicken, yeah. And it's like...
People are eating the wings. Like, let's quarter this chicken because it's going to be delicious.
The chicken is yelling freedom while he's in the deep fryer.
They're not chopping them up first. They're just putting the whole chicken
feathers
in.
and all.
And then you hear a gurgling sound. Well, you don't, because he has no head, no mouth. He can't even yell freedom. It's just coming out of his throat.
Yeah, his head game's off.
Okay, Mike the Headless Chicken was a male Wyandotte chicken that lived for 18 months after his head had been cut off.
What?
After the loss of his head, Mike achieved national fame until his death in March 1947.
Get the Presidential Medal of Honor.
They couldn't hang it on anything.
Wait, he had a neck still. He just didn't have a head. So keep going. I am so interested to see how this guy survived. Like, what about food? How is he...
Let's find out. Wow. In Fruita, Colorado, the annual Mike the Headless Chicken Day is held every May.
May what?
I don't know. They probably are like it's the first weekend.
Probably the first half.
First Saturday of May or something like that. So here's the incident, the beheading.
The top half of the month when we celebrate it.
On September 10th, 1945, farmer Lloyd Olson of Fruita, Colorado was planning to eat supper with his mother-in-law.
Perfect.
And was sent out to the yard by his wife to bring back a chicken. Olson chose a 5.5-month-old Wyandotte chicken named Mike. So he did have a name
before the
beheading. The axe removed the bulk of the head, but missed the jugular vein, leaving one ear and most of the brain stem intact.
I'm unsure. Like the description, like where did it cut? Then you mean like half? So like half of a.
Here's what I guess. I would get. Let's say a chicken's head is kind of like a human head, but I don't really know where a chicken's ear is. But I'll say on the sides, still, right?
Yeah, I mean, just you saying, I'm fairly sure a chicken's head is very similar
just
to a human
shape.
head.
Like the eyes are in the front, the beak is the nose, and the ears are on the side.
Look,
right?
You may be a chicken head, but not me.
Look, man, college was weird for all of us, okay?
It's still weird. We're in college right now.
So my guess is it kind of... So if a jugular is in the neck, right? And part of his ear was chopped off... But
wasn't.
Missed the jugular vein and left one ear. So I'm guessing it went at an angle like this.
Yeah, okay.
That's my guess. And the brainstem was intact, so the back somehow.
So he was just hanging in there? Literally?
Due to Olson's failed attempt to behead Mike, the chicken was still able to balance on a perch and walk clumsily. He attempted to preen, peck for food, and crow, though with limited success. His crowing consisted of a gurgling sound made in his throat. So instead of "Baka," it was like
in the morning, it's just like it sounds like somebody gargling.
Yeah, gargling mouthwash. When Mike did not die, Olson instead decided to care for the bird. He fed it a mixture of milk and water via an eyedropper and gave it small grains of corn and worms.
Okay, so
he's just dropping them down his open gullet? Yeah.
So what about...
He's baby birding him.
I would hate to be the bird after Mike.
I know.
That was just like, wait, what the fuck?
Fred.
This guy gets a fucking bed and gets to... get bird-fed worms down his esophagus.
Exactly.
But then
all of a sudden you care for this bird.
Damn, that's weird.
Tough day for long neck Fred.
If you're a bird owner, if you're a chicken owner, do you name and you eat chickens? Do you name your chickens? I feel
Makes it a little personal,
right? I feel like you wouldn't name them if you're gonna like go in the back and butcher them.
It's very almost like the mafia. I feel like. You know, a lot of times they kill their friends, their best friends. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Imagine if the mafia killed somebody but didn't kill them all the way. And they
it was just
yeah.
Mikey, the headless mafioso. Mikey No Head.
Yeah, Mikey No Head. Mikey the Slice.
Like they're just feeding Mikey spaghetti right down his gullet. Oh, poor
and
guy.
like his mom is alive, so his mom has to take care of him.
Yeah,
and then it's like always like picking up his his drool because his head's like.
Wait, what's he drooling out of, Jheisson?
Out of his esophagus.
Okay, so Olson was feeding him with an eyedropper, giving him small grains of corn and worms. And now here's the fame part.
Oh, when you say eyedropper, I imagine trying to drop like a 5-hour energy into the chicken.
Mike the Headless Chicken.
Like would he like just, or coffee, just like pure coffee espresso.
Why are you doing that?
Just to see what like, okay, first off, you have a headless chicken. Let's do a couple of experiments, okay? You're not going to treat this headless chicken as a real pet. You're not walking it. For God's sakes, you have to put little worms and little droplets of...
You don't walk normal chickens, Jheisson.
I've never owned a chicken. I've never owned a chicken. I don't know.
You'd be a weird chicken owner. Like, oh, yeah, that dude that walks his chicken around the neighborhood.
I fucking love to walk my chicken.
He doesn't know how to raise a chicken.
Chickens don't need exercise?
All right, maybe you should walk your chicken.
Well, no. At this point, if I'm walking with my chicken, I'm not going to eat them, so I don't need them to be plump. You know?
Yeah, you're getting that lean meat.
I want that lean. No, I'm not eating him. He's my buddy.
You're gonna eat him.
Eventually, I will.
Yeah, I know you.
Hey, someone's got to go. And it's not going to be me.
One of these days, you're gonna forget to pick up ribeye, and you're gonna be like, geez, what do I gotta eat my chicken.
Also, I should not name my chicken ribeye. My first name
be
idea.
Too tempting.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course there's got to be a cash grab here at some point.
Has to.
You don't have a headless chicken without calling the news in, getting an ABC story, like a 2020 story, Dateline story, something like that.
And what town was this again?
Fruita, Colorado.
Okay, you're on the cover of the Fruita Gazette for sure.
Oh,
easy. That's an easy front cover.
Yeah, and the Fruita Daily at the same time. So here's the fame. Once his fame had been established, Mike began a career of touring sideshows in the company of such other anomalies.
35, 40-day career?
Hey, he lived for 18 months.
18 months. I'm
18
sorry.
months,
That is so long.
That's pretty long.
Like after a year.
I feel like that's long for a regular chicken.
When you have an anniversary of a year.
When your head on this got cut off.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah.
At that point, just eat the chicken, man.
So, well, I mean, he's worth more alive than dead.
Yeah, that's true.
So Mike began a career touring sideshows in the company of such other
half
anomalies.
Mutilate.
Yes.
What do I want to say? Mutilated things.
Well, a two-headed baby. He was putting on a show with a two-headed baby, essentially. He was also photographed for dozens of magazines and papers and was featured in Time and Life magazines.
Okay, see, now I picture the two-headed baby riding on top of Mike the Headless Chicken, and then they have a coat.
Okay. The two heads are the chicken's heads.
Yeah.
Mike was put on display to the public for an admission cost of 25 cents. At the height of his popularity, the chicken's owner earned $4,500 per month, equivalent to $54,610 in 2021. Quit your farming job and start chopping down chicken heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. If
I would grab a chicken and just start cracking its neck just to see, because I don't want to. The blood is a lot, so I would just crack the neck. If they're still alive, then I go
slowly saw it off with a pocket knife. All right, Jheisson.
With my Leatherman.
Here's a numbers game again.
Ooh, numbers game. Big numbers guy here.
Guess what Mike was valued at in 2021 dollars?
Oh, what he was at his peak.
Well, now, if he was alive now, what a headless chicken will go for now?
But okay, what did it go for then?
Well, I can't tell you. Then you're just guessing inflation.
So why don't you just ask me how much did it go then?
How much do you think?
Because right now you're asking me to guess on inflation.
I'm trying to put it in terms that you can understand.
I understand old money, baby.
All right, 1945. What was Mike worth?
What was he worth? I would say at least 15 grand.
Not bad. 10 grand.
10 grand, okay.
Equivalent to $121,000 in 2021. Now here's the death, which had to be a sad day for Lloyd Olson, the farmer.
Very sad. Not surprising, but a very sad day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean...
It couldn't have been surprising. I mean, every day you wake up thinking, that chicken, Mike is dead.
Not only that, though... When your headless chicken dies and it's famous,
Yeah.
You got to go one more cash grab and have a headless chicken funeral. For sure.
Yes, you do. You know they have like
and you got to have a normal chicken casket just for like so everybody can understand what then a shorter headless chicken casket looks like.
Do you think they the community did like a candlelight what is it called? Vigil?
Rotisserie roast. They held him over the candles.
Just a gigantic bonfire, and they were cooking them
Oh,
up.
it's so sad, but it smells so delicious.
Throwing some more charcoal in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they had a eulogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Can imagine a chicken. Who else spoke? Like a pig, a cow, the two-headed baby. They went
the
over.
two-headed baby, 2 mics. We need a second mic. We got to get a second mic for the two-headed baby. Okay, so listen.
Mike, more than a coworker. By the way, the baby speaks like a gentleman, like just a grown person. Only one speaks. The other baby's mute. The other baby head's mute.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't need 2 mics after all. Listen to this. In March 1947, at a motel in Phoenix, Arizona, on a stopover while traveling back from tour, Mike OD'd on heroin.
That would be fun.
I love
yeah, that'd be a way to go out, Mike.
I love the idea of how they wrote this.
Yeah.
Like Mike
it was just another day for Mike when he woke up that morning.
Well, no, he ended tour and he's like driving back like it's Crazy Heart, like Jeff Bridges in Crazy Heart, and he stops at some like roadside motel, hangs his hat that didn't cover his head because he's got no head, and just like falls asleep and dies. Anyway, so in March 1947, at a motel in Phoenix, Arizona, on a stopover while traveling back from tour, Mike started choking in the middle of the night. Olsen didn't know the Heimlich? It sounds different from his normal gurgle.
What if he knew the Heimlich, but he just didn't want to put his mouth on like the esophagus?
Yeah.
Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like that's the only way you can get air.
Pushing the chest. If you're choking, is it CPR or the Heimlich? I guess it's the Heimlich.
He was choking the chicken?
Hey, what happens in a motel room doesn't leave the motel room. Oh, so here's what happened. Mike started choking in the middle.
Okay, so after the investigation, we know what happened. So what happened?
Yeah. Yo, if your $10,000 chicken dies, there's gonna be an investigation. There's gonna be a funeral.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder if they put insurance on that.
I'm sure there was an insurance policy.
I mean, it's a $10,000 bird right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he had managed to get a kernel of corn in his throat.
Mike, I can imagine Mike just watching a movie, and then
he's eating popcorn.
He's at the very bottom.
One of them didn't pop.
Such a sad story.
The Olsens had inadvertently left their feeding and cleaning syringes at the sideshow the day before, and so were unable to save Mike. Wait, what are the syringes? So
maybe
I
like
guess
to
maybe
clean,
they would
like to suck or like
to clean
a
the
baster, maybe something to suck or push in.
Olsen claimed that he had sold the bird off, resulting in stories of Mike still touring the country as late as 1949. The legend of Mike the Headless Chicken continued. Other sources say that
he was a ghost chicken at that point. He was still performing.
I don't know, man. Well, just stories of him performing. So he was probably still selling stories about Mike the Headless Chicken to newspapers or whoever. And he just was dead. Other sources say the chicken's severed trachea could not properly take in enough air to be able to breathe and therefore choked to death in the motel. I mean, clearly he breathed for 18 months. Here's the explanation of the case. So maybe there was an investigation.
Of course there was.
Oh, no, this is the explanation of the original reason why he could be headless. It was determined that the axe had missed the jugular vein and a clot had prevented Mike from bleeding to death.
Whoa.
Although most of his head was severed, most of his brain stem and one ear were left on his body, since basic functions, breathing, heart rate, etc.
So his brain was just hanging in there, pretty much. An ear, like an ear and brain.
But maybe it also has to do with how much a chicken's brain,
Probably not big.
Not big.
Right.
It doesn't do that much.
But all I'm saying is, like, it's hanging the way like a chicken's throat like hangs, like their little whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
It's
the gobble thing.
It's essentially that, but like with like half of an ear and like brain, like skull.
Yeah,
or
I guess
whatever.
the brain was hanging out. Most of his brainstem and since
Or
basic
brainstem.
functions, breathing, heart rate, etc., as well as most of a chicken's reflex actions are controlled by the brain stem. So the brain stem actually kind of works as the basic brain for a chicken.
Wow.
Because of that, Mike was able to remain quite healthy. This is a
Quite
good...
He was,
Other than the lack of head...
like recently I'm just like, oh man, I feel a lot better as a 30-year-old than I did like a 20-year. I wonder if he felt the same thing. Like, oh, you know what? I feel so much healthier without a head on.
Yeah. Before I found my eyesight to be terrible, and now I just don't have it.
Now we just don't have sight.
No problem. I was always worried about how my hair looked as a chicken, but now
I can't even look.
I wake up, I don't even have to comb my hair anymore. So this is a good example of central motor generators enabling basic homeostatic functions to be carried out in the absence of higher brain centers. In addition, birds possess a secondary balance organ in the pelvic region, the lumbosacral organ, which controls walking locomotion virtually independently from the vestibular organ involved in flight. Well, chickens don't really fly either, so... This has been used to explain how a headless chicken can walk and balance despite the destruction of much of the cranial vestibular system. Amazing. Interesting bodies here. Mike the Headless Chicken is now a cultural institution in Fruita, Colorado, with an annual Mike the Headless Chicken Day, the third weekend of May, starting in 1999. Events held include the 5K Run Like a Headless Chicken race. They should have to be blindfolded for that.
Yeah.
An egg toss, pin the head on the chicken, and the chicken cluck off and chicken bingo, in which chicken droppings on a numbered grid choose the numbers. Mike the Headless Chicken was an inspiration for the poultry-themed comedy punk band The Radioactive Chicken Heads, serving as the subject of their 2008 song Headless Mike, for which a music video was filmed. The band also features a Headless Mike puppet, which is frequently used in their live shows.
They also have a Headless Mike scholarship that
The band does.
The band does, and we're accepting it. So if you have the Mike the Headless
So you get
scholarship,
to be in the band?
you get to be in the band, and you get to free classes here
Free
at
class.
WikiU.
Yes, okay. Just the promo code Mike.
Headless.
Headless. So you think it's headless? Nah, he's Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you want to go here, Jheisson?
I feel like we kind of covered the bird section. I think that's a good
Stopping point?
stopping point.
Okay, let's wrap it up here.
I think it's a good full circle.
Explain.
I should have known you were going to ask me to explain.
Yeah, I want to hear this. Go on.
Well, we talked about birds.
Birds.
Correct. I mean, we always end up full circle here,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Every beginning has an end, and every end has a new beginning. Everybody, I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do come back. As always, we always would appreciate a follow, a like, and of course, a review wherever you listen to this podcast.
And people can check us out on Instagram or TikTok at Wiki University, and that is the episode. Bye.
Stay learning, stay burning. Have a good summer.